We are back, and I am back after my unfortunate injury that put me on the sidelines last week, as you guys discussed censor, and people were saying it's the best episode ever.
Yeah, well, welcome back for starters.
Thank you, thank you,
We missed you.
thank you. And I guess Oliver is not here today. I don't know if you know this. Oliver right now is being held hostage by two men who he wrongfully put in prison years ago. So life is imitating art, and Oliver is being curfewed right now as we discuss the movie Curfew eventually. But Matt, how are things going in Ohio?
Yeah, snow team. We've got an Ohio team in the Super Bowl today. I don't really care about them, but that's a plus. I guess that's about it. What about you?
I am, we're going to be discussing the movie Curfew here in a few minutes, and I am very excited because tomorrow, or actually, we're going to be recording tomorrow. It's going to go live on Wednesday. We are going to have an interview with Casey Scott talking about the movie Babyface 2 as we finally Grindhouse Chic After Dark up and running after so many false starts.
They happen. It happens.
It does. But how did you survive the Valentine's Day sale? I heard you spent your future child's college fund on smut.
I got out of it a little deeper than I wanted to, but I think I did all right. I mean, everything's like $7-8. How can you not?
No, exactly. Dumb question. When you put a DVD into your 4K player and play on your 4K TV, do you just feel a little bit cheated?
You know what? I'll let you know. This is going to be the first time I do it. So I've purged all DVDs from this house.
You have?
I have. I got rid of all of them a couple years ago and just went to Blu-ray, and now I'm kind of starting the whole process over again with 4K.
But it's so sad because there's so many DVDs that have not even been upgraded to Blu-ray yet.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure it'll look, decent, probably better than what it used to, but I haven't tried it yet.
It's just so weird because I want to see some of these movies in 4K, especially stuff from Carlos Tobalina. So what do you feel of the reissue of Madman?
Well, I have the old one, still unopened, have never watched it. So I'm always, I know, I'm always happy when, some of the old issues or some of the old issued Blu-rays get the legacy slips, but it seems like they did this one a little differently, and you can't buy just the slipcover. You have to buy the full movie, and you have to buy it. It's not just part of your sub. I mean, other than that, the slipcover looks cool.
It does. It does. But do you think? Well, since you haven't seen Mad, why haven't you watched it yet?
I told you these are like all just sitting here just waiting. And so I'm happy we started doing this because I'm finally watching these now.
Madman was one that I never heard of before, and I watched it. I loved it, and it's one of those ones I never bothered to watch it again. So, unlike Slaughterhouse, which I've seen like 5 or 6 times. I don't get it.
I'm not as probably like linked in with this community as you are. I'm still somewhat new, but is this something that people were asking for?
I have no idea on that one. I personally think it's a waste to reissue stuff unless it's such a different. Unless it's such a. Unless I'm sorry, I'm going to rephrase it. Unless there's a huge upgrade to it.
Mm-hmm.
Like different features, maybe even a different cut of the movie. Sure, that would be worth it. I just don't see the love of Madman, and I don't see why they couldn't just put a new title in that position and release subscribers.
Yeah, I think they just added like one interview to it. I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
I did see someone on one of the message on one of the groups get really upset but now
Yeah.
they have to buy it for another interview. And I'm like, you really don't.
Yeah, maybe it'd be different if it was like a new 4K release or something, but I know they can't do that to all of them, but it does just seem kind of, I don't know. I don't know if people they said it was their like most requested movie to revisit and get a slip, so maybe, I don't know, but it seems kind of
do,
like a weird way to go about it, I guess.
do you think this was the conversation at Vinegar Syndrome headquarters? Hey, Brad Henderson. Yes, Lee Jones. What's your most requested reissue? Madman. Done.
Could have been.
Um, so what do you think of the upgrade to Dracula Sucks?
That one I also have, and this may shock you. I have not watched it yet. Um, so this one, at least, this one's a 4K though, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So I think that is at least, it's actually an upgrade. It's actually something worth reissuing, I guess, as a full, um, paid for release.
And according to Lee Jones, it sounds like it might be a different cut of the movie too.
Oh, really?
He wrote this long like post on Facebook in the official Vinegar Syndrome group. I'm going to admit I skimmed over it, but what I took away was it seemed like, all right, I'm not as upset about this reissue as I
Hmm.
was before.
Yeah.
Here's the thing: Dracula Sucks is not a good movie. It's just not.
I mean, it looks pretty entertaining, at least from the screenshots.
If you like overacting from Jamie Gillis, yeah, this movie's for you. But I will say that the new slipcover for Corruption looks beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought that looked really good, and I tried to jump on the poster for that one, and it sold out pretty quick.
Yeah, I did not, but corrupt. I don't know if Corruption. I think that the slipcover is beautiful for it, but Corruption is such a good movie. It's it's just insane, and Roger Watkins, I think him and Dorenzi might be the two best directors who have dabbled in adult cinema beside Gary Graver. Those three. Those three.
Yeah, and this one is, kind of goes back to the Madman release. It's like you can buy just the slipcover for this. Um, and I don't know if this was included on the original release of it, but at the bottom, in the special features, it says plus a very special bonus feature Easter egg. Oh, actually,
Yeah,
I know what that is, so that was included.
yeah, the last house on a dead end street.
Yeah. So yeah,
Yeah.
I guess they didn't add anything to this one, but
No, but why would they? I mean,
yeah.
there's no point. But I did order it, the slipcover. Hopefully it fits. I have the original version, which still has the exploitation TV logo on there. So yeah, hopefully it fits. I won't have to get another case for it, which would suck.
I
So
would think that it would.
no, because originally Vinegar Syndrome had different size. They had the blue cases compared to the clear cases.
Oh,
Yeah. Um, yeah, I'm gonna say I was a little disappointed by the offerings this year. The two releases from Pulse are must buy. If you have not seen with them, object. It might be the best adult film I've ever seen,
is
hands
that
down.
in? Is that included in one of those?
No, that was one that one's sold out right now.
Yeah, I saw
But yeah, anything with Marilyn Jess in it is ooh la la. That's French for oh yeah.
that. What do you think about this might not be a new thing with Vinegar Syndrome. I've only ever seen Severin do it, but what do you think about like the enamel pins that keep popping up in these? You think that's like
I,
a necessity to these sales?
I think from a marketing standpoint, anything that you put in that it's so low cost compared to
Hmm.
everything else, people order it because it seems like it's next to nothing.
All right.
And when people are already spending $100+ on physical media, what's $5 to $10 more?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just silly. But again, it was silly enough that we all stayed up late on Thursday night, Friday morning for things that would not sell out.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I think that was probably the my biggest surprise is these sales. I'm usually refreshing right at 12:01 to grab stuff, and this one I didn't really feel that rush to try and get in there and get anything. I thought that the new ones might be somewhat limited, but I mean, Madman has what 6,000.
The stuff from Pulse I think were 2,500 a piece,
Mm,
and those will sell out.
yeah,
But
2,500.
the other title, Picorama title, sounds interesting. Up until a few years ago, foreign porn just seemed something that I would never watch because porn is American, and the French just do it better. They just do it better. Um, it's weird without Oliver here. You know that?
Yeah, it's same thing last week. It was weird with just the two of us.
Yeah. Um,
Call him up.
we can't. We don't have his phone number, and we don't have long distance plans. But I mean, I think Oliver should be here today to honor my accomplishment of winning the U.S. comedy contest.
Yes, congrats,
Which
man.
means thank you. Which means I am the only person on the show that is represented now by a management company.
Yep.
Which means we will be renegotiating my contract. they
Oh,
they want to earn their commission. I'm like, we have no sponsors. Hopefully, they'll get us sponsors.
yeah, that'd be cool.
All right, let's talk about the movie Curfew.
Yeah. Um. Yeah. I know you said you liked this one. I think I might be on the other side of the fence, but
Okay, let's talk about let's you know what? Let me do a little synopsis here for it. Entertain them while I
some dance moves.
sweet dance moves. Yes,
Anyone watching, put your vote down in the comment for who's winning the Super Bowl as long as you're not voting for Cincinnati Bengals.
okay. Then I go for the Miami Dolphins. All right, Curfew. Ray and Bob Perkins are brothers whose grisly killing spree has landed them on death row. Plotting a daring escape, they break free from prison with vengeance in mind, setting targets in the form of key witnesses against them, but particularly the judge in their trial and the prosecuting attorney. Leaving a trail of maimed corpses, they enact their revenge. The brothers finally arrive at their prime target, the home of District Attorney Walter Davenport and his wife. What they don't expect, however, is the late return home of the Davenport's teenage daughter, Stephanie. Mixing action, home invasion drama, and slasher pretenses, Gary Winnick, Charlotte Webb's directorial debut, Curfew, is a tense edge of your seat thriller with a high body count and a healthy dose of dark humor. Starring Kyle Richards, Watching the Woods, John Putch, Jaws 3D, and Wendell Wellman, Sudden Impact. Vinegar Cinema is pleased to present the worldwide Blu-ray debut of Curfew, newly restored in 2K and featuring an assortment of new interviews with the cast and crew.
I'm sorry, did you say director of Charlotte's Web?
Yes, I saw the director of Charlotte's Web.
Okay, interesting.
Why is it interesting to go from a movie that's basically a a Don't Go or Last House on the Left ripoff?
Uh-huh.
Um, I'm just going to say this: Kyle Richards, who was known as Lindsay in the original Halloween, probably should have given up acting after the original Halloween.
So I didn't recognize her from Halloween. When I saw her in this, and this is gonna, I think, bring some judgment, but I was in a relationship for a long time, and I was forced to watch all of the Real Housewives shows,
Okay.
and she was in the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, and I was like, oh, that's her. That's what's her face, Kyle or Kylie.
Kylie, yeah.
Yeah, so I was like, oh, I know all of her drama. Let's see how she acts. And I was just gonna say that she is more entertaining in real life than she was in this movie.
I don't imagine that being very difficult. But let's go into Curfew. Why did you not like it?
Um, I'm gonna this was the first Vinegar Syndrome movie that we watched where I put it on, started to watch it, and fell asleep and had to finish it the next day. Um, I just think maybe it just didn't get going quick enough. The beginning kind of confused me at first.
Well, yeah, because they don't really explain how they escaped from prison, right?
Yeah,
It just
I
happened.
don't think they said it at first why they were even in prison.
And
it, and
and
they
to
like
be
started in that house with the girl, and well, it was Bobby. Bobby was with the girl, and then his brother came in, and Bobby looked in and saw his brother just getting on the girl, and then it cuts to they're in prison,
yeah,
and then they're in there, and then it cuts again to some dead bodies on the road with prison clothes on, and their clothes missing. So it's
yeah.
just kind of like jump, jump, jump. Okay,
I I
now we see what's going on.
I don't mind that because I'm guessing it was too expensive to film the prison escape, so we just left it to
Yeah,
our imagination. But what I think I liked about it is these guys actually had a pretty good plan.
yeah,
I don't I like the fact that this was a revenge movie, but from the point of view, actually, it was a double revenge movie of the escaped convicts, and then a revenge movie of the girl to help her family.
hmm Stephanie
Starring,
eyebrows.
oh, we are not either one of us should talk about eyebrows. And this was the late '80s, early '90s when eyebrows were big. It was horrible back then.
Literally.
It was yeah. All right, but I like the fact they had a plan. What I did not like about the movie is every character except for Stephanie and her parents were two dimensional,
Yeah,
and the convicts.
yeah, I would agree to that. Yeah, it just kind of seemed like the other deaths didn't really matter. They're kind of just popping in, doing their thing, heading out, and it just concentrates on the one family, and you don't really know why because there was no. We didn't see the trial. We didn't see what these people did.
It, it, I think this movie could have been benefited a little more from flashbacks.
Yeah, yeah, it was short, so they could have threw something in there. I mean, what was this? Uh, 86 minutes.
Yeah. Wow, it seemed a little bit longer than that.
Yeah, yeah. I felt like they were in that last house for like forever.
I got to tell you, when they killed the judge, I was okay with that. When he like his first line in the movie was when she's walking by, he's like, "Can I get you some lemonade?" No, no, no. How about a pair of pants? That judge was a little bit too judgmental.
Yeah. Speaking of pants, what was going on with her shoving clothes in and out of the mailbox? Was that her attempt to like her parents could see her doing that? Was she just like
She
coming
thought she
back
was
home and
being,
putting on painting clothes to say, "I was out painting"?
she thought she was smarter than her parents. But if you remember, her dad is a very important person in town, the district
Yeah.
attorney,
Yep.
which is weird that they lived right next to the judge.
Yeah. All on the same street there.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it made it a little bit too easy for the convicts just to go. We just have to go here, this street. One, two, done.
Right.
The movie also seemed to be heavily unofficially referencing of mice and men because of Lenny, and I can't remember the other. Was it Lenny and George? The brothers seem to come off in a way like that. Where was Bob the dumber one in this one?
Yes, and I was going to ask if you felt that that was intentional, or because it
I,
seemed kind of like he was just kind of not dumb, but just kind of like developmentally challenged, maybe.
well, it's obvious the character of Bob was a lot younger than his brother,
Hmm.
and there's obviously a lot of abuse that goes in the way in there, where Ray makes Bobby think that everything was his fault when Ray is actually the psycho of the truly
Right.
psychotic. Yeah.
Yep.
But you know what? I actually would have liked to delve more into the relationship. Again, flashbacks would have been perfect for it.
Right. Anything.
But you got to think of this. What year was this movie made?
89.
Interesting. So it was really before Tarantino.
Yeah.
Huh. Again, this is a weird film because I've never heard of it until Vinegar Syndrome announced it.
Right. Yeah. But I guess it was Gary's debut, so I mean, pretty decent debut, I would say. But
Well, yeah, I mean, but did it play theatrically?
I couldn't find that out, but I was watching the special feature, um, the Mind Games one, where they were interviewing the Wendell Wellman who played Ray, and he was saying that um, he thought that he wasn't going to get this role because everyone else who they were testing for it all had TV experience. So I'm wondering if this was like a made-for-TV kind of deal. Which I mean,
No.
some of the yes, some of the deaths up there, and it had a real rapey vibe the entire time. But yeah, he said that, and because he said he worked with like Clint Eastwood a bunch and was used to only working in like theatrical movies, and the other guys had a lot more TV experience. So I didn't know what to take away from that.
Hmm. I'm more in shock that this is the director who did 13 going on 30.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he
wow.
definitely took a change there.
He became a real director after this. Not that he wasn't,
Yeah,
but going back to, I mean, I can't imagine this movie coming out theatrically, and I can't imagine it jumping at. Obviously, it didn't jump out at me on the video store shelves.
yeah.
So I wonder who the audience for this film was. It seemed like it came out a few years. If it came out a few years after Reservoir Dogs, I think this movie would have been a hit.
Yeah. I saw a lot of people comparing it to what was that? Cape Fear, and I'm pretty sure Cape Fear was after this.
Well,
Cape Fear was like,
Cape Fear was also before because Cape Fear was a remake.
oh, that's true. That's true.
But Cape Fear, I mean, first of all, that was Scorsese and had De Niro, and it was just De Niro was pure psychotic. These guys were not pure psychotic. These guys were desperate. It's
Hmm.
like in fact, they were a lot like Michael Myers when he escaped from the sanatorium and was just going straight home.
Yeah.
Where these guys were escaped from the prison just to go straight to the prosecutor and judge's house.
Right.
Um, you know what part I thought was the most unbelievable part of the whole film?
What?
That they would keep the two brothers in the same prison cell.
Yeah. I thought the most surprising part was that they cast Stephanie's mom in this movie because she was just like pretty much just a corpse sitting there the entire time, just with blank look on her face, no expression ever.
Her mom was probably probably an act. Well, she was an actress, but I recognize her mom from other stuff.
let's see. I think it's this Jean Brooks was her, and I mean
Oh,
that's
she's
all
been in
she's got on
nothing.
here. Yeah,
Oh, she has that look of over actress.
yeah. But she was like, you know, they were the brothers would be down like threatening their lives, and she'd just be like, "What? Why?" It's like, do something. Like when the cop came to the door and with Stephanie, and they were like, "Is anything going on in there?" And she was just had her head out the door. Could have just like did anything. Give him like a wink or something like, or one of these like nods.
Yeah. Oh, all right. I want to talk about the quarterback, his buddy, and his buddy's girlfriend. First of all, nobody says no to the quarterback.
Yeah. Yep.
um, the only I recognize the actor who played him. He was in the original miniseries of V. He played
Hmm.
a visitor who got the character of Robin pregnant.
Okay.
And in this one, he plays the most date rapey character that we have ever seen.
Yeah, he was
And then
like real mad about it too.
his buddy's girlfriend.
I was trying to find his name in the movie. I don't see it. Yeah, I couldn't tell if they were like actually together or she's
They
like, "Yeah, I'll
were.
hang out with you until the quarterback throws a look my way."
Well, it's because she was looking for she wanted to be upwardly mobile. She wanted to go to the she wanted to have that quarterback prestige in the high school hallway,
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
buddy of the quarterback. Um, I'm very surprised that we had two large cameos in the movie for Christopher Knight playing the police deputy,
Mhm.
and Rob Romanus from Fast Times at Ridgemont High is playing the short order cook at the diner.
Yep. You know, for I think that most of the time that I saw the police officer on camera, I was just like really struggling to think who that was, and I think towards the end, I like finally saw it. I was like, "Whoa, the guy from Brady Bunch is in here. What is he doing in this movie?" With such a small role.
He probably got the most money from this movie.
Mhm.
You want $10,000 to work a day? Fuck yeah! You get to smoke a cigar, even better.
Yeah.
But this movie was just I don't know. I liked it. I liked it.
Yeah.
It's the ending satisfied me. It was fun. It was stupid, and every bad character spoiler got their comeuppance at the end.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the thing I liked most about it was um, probably the guy who played Ray's performance. Um, I feel like usually in these kind of like '80s kind of slasher revenge movies, the guy who's actually the main villain is usually kind of like over the top, not very believable. But this guy who was playing Ray just kind of took the role as like real laid back, kind of like he knows what he's doing, so he's not freaked out about anything. Um, I just thought that gave it like a to me kind of more of like a scary presence to him, where he's just like that kind of crazy inside, where it's this kind of just seems like nothing to him.
Well, yeah,
You know?
he's crazy, and even worse, he's a manipulator
Right? Yeah.
because the way he was able to just make his brother do things. Now, to be fair, Stephanie was also manipulating the brother.
Yeah. He
That
should have known better.
he didn't. I think.
No, just because she was so bad at it.
Oh, yeah,
No, I want you now.
but to somebody who's mentally insane, that would come out to is, I want you.
Yeah.
Fucking a.
But
Now,
I think this one was after watching it. I think this one the thing that I did like about it, besides that performance, was that this really reminded me of, back in the day, going into a video store and grabbing a movie you've never heard of and just putting it on and watching it. Not really good, not really bad, but you're just happy that you went to grab a movie that you haven't seen before. And this one, I like really had that feeling with.
This one, again, I enjoyed it, and I wish I saw it back in the day. It did not have a lot of nudity in it.
Yeah, it didn't.
I think just did we see the blonde naked at all, or did we not? I can't remember.
I don't. I don't think so. I think it was just like her back, and then the stab wounds after.
Okay.
I
Interesting
thought
then,
that
because
I thought that the only nudity was about to be the mom. I was like, oh boy.
was it ooh boy or oh boy?
She's gonna have that same exact face on still.
Don't get us canceled.
Yeah.
No, again, I think it's a fun movie. I think the analogy is right. If this was a pure video store pickup and one that you would drink a few beers to or soda pops and hope that there was good sized death count. And this movie has some bloody murders in it.
Mm-hmm.
So
my wife did watch this one with me, and when I won't give away spoilers, but when the drill killing happened, she looked at me and said that might have been the worst death I've ever seen in one of these movies that you've watched. So maybe she didn't think that one was very well done.
all right, let's see. How many escaped convicts would you give this movie?
I'm gonna as many as there were. I'm gonna go 2.
I will go 3.
3.
I will go 3. I think this movie could have been saved by flashbacks and a better soundtrack.
Right. Yeah, I cannot think of the music at all in it. Actually, was it just kind of like the droney, like the whole time? I can't even think of it.
There wasn't any real soundtrack except when they were singing Dixieland.
Okay, yeah.
Which I guess these guys were Southern too, because the way they kept on singing that. But I mean, overall, I thought it was a good movie. I enjoyed it. I'm glad I discovered it. It makes up for Master of the World, which might be the worst Vinegar Syndrome release of all time.
I keep reading that. It kind of makes me more intrigued to watch it. But
that's something to talk about. There's a lot of these movies that I've never heard of before that I missed the boat on back when they came out. One, I was probably too pompous at that point to admit that I liked this shit. And again, if the covers didn't look cool, why even watch it? Because that was what the VHS days were all about, was cool covers that hopefully the movie inside lived up to.
Right, yeah.
Do you think we're missing that now, like with streaming?
I can say with me personally, yes, because my experience with streaming is scrolling and scrolling, trying to decide just even what to watch, and I usually end up watching nothing. But it's the posters themselves nowadays are not good. It's just, I think me and Oliver talked about last week with the censor poster, which was actually like a good poster, kind of like harkened back to back then, where it was just get it, ooh, got it. We're kind of harkened back to just the character, their murder weapon on the cover, and you don't know much about it. But I feel like nowadays it's just, who's in this movie? Let's just throw all their faces on the poster and just put the name of the film below. So you don't really get that kind of like, imagination out of it. You don't get that, oh, I gotta write this to see what it's about kind of deal.
But I mean, we also don't have, when we're streaming, we also don't have the ability to touch something and pick it up. Like going to the video store and you see the VHS for Hell Comes to Frogtown, and you're like, oh, is that Roddy Piper?
Yeah,
You pick
yeah.
it up and you read it, and then that becomes you're like, oh fuck, I got to see this movie. Or Angel, high school honor student by day, Hollywood hooker by night.
Hmm.
Done.
Right.
It's now like, okay,
Yeah.
Love is Blind, Arrested Development season 7. This time we got it right. I mean, just going through Netflix is and adding stuff to your queue is hard enough,
Yep.
and knowing that there's a good chance you're never ever going to watch it.
Yeah. I don't know if there still is a limit, but I remember the day that I filled up my Netflix queue with 500 movies, and I was just like, I don't know why I do this. I really haven't watched any of these. They're still in there.
And then yeah, and then it becomes harder because again, when we buy physical media, there's it feels more urgent to watch it because I actually paid for it.
Hmm.
I picked up the box, I unpacked the box, I put it on the shelf. I need to watch it,
Right.
and
Yeah.
I don't know if I don't know if streaming films are ever going to have that nostalgia factor that we had during the VHS years
Right.
and the early DVD years. Like I broke a promise to myself and I went into Best Buy the other day to pick something up, and there was a point where I could have spent hours just walking the shelves for the discs, and now there's a shelf.
Right. Yep.
So it's even becoming harder to do that, to to
Yeah.
to to look for to find that surprise new title.
Hmm.
So
Yeah. There's one instance of that I always remember, and it was like such a random movie, but it was when Best Buy had the all the aisles, and I saw this movie with I can't think of the name of it. Arnold Schwarzenegger, Sally Field, and I want to say like Jeff Bridges, maybe.
okay, I have no
But it
idea.
was like I was like, what is this? It was just like some movie there. I picked it up, picked out the back. It looked like it was going to be a drama. I was just like, Arnold in a drama. Okay, I got to get this. And it was such a good movie, and you don't just like experience that anymore. You walk into a store and it's one rack of like new releases and a handful of others, and there's not really a way to like discover stuff like that anymore.
No, and I mean now it's like it's kind of being forced fed to us. We have two kinds of nostalgia. We have nostalgia for what we've missed,
Hmm.
and then we have people who have nostalgia for the era that I wish I was there for.
Right.
And I mean, I'm glad all this stuff is coming out, but the chance of discovery is getting is becoming less and less. Like I just discovered that there's an FYE 5 miles from my apartment.
Hmm. I thought they
I
were all gone.
No, FYE still exists. I hate they're closing stores left and right, but I hate the fact that I have to go to FYE and pay nearly double for a disc that I should. But
Right.
it's the ability to walk into one of those stores and just go, cool, maybe I'll discover something new.
Hmm. So do you think? I mean, you live in Washington D.C., a bigger city. I live in Canton, Ohio, so I don't think it would take off here. But do you think there would be a place for people to start opening up these video stores again with you know concentrating on boutique labels and the movies that those bring, or do you think it would kind of fall to the wayside as everything else did?
I have no idea. Like Scarecrow Video in Seattle is still pretty successful as a video store.
Hmm.
When I lived there, I would go there all the time, and that's where I discovered Arrow Video, and I bought the original Battle Royal Blu-ray set because they had someone there recommending it to me.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I would like to think a video store could survive today,
Right.
but
That'd be interesting. I would love to see it. There's this right down the road from where I live now. I've lived here like my entire life, so um, there's this little like two screen theater. Um, it's where I saw my first movie, which was Batman, starring Michael Keaton. Um, and the theater went out of business. It eventually became like a movie rental place that went out of business, and ever since then, it's been like 8 different like vape stores. And I thought it'd be really cool to someday if I'd be able to buy that and back as like a 2-screen theater and play these old movies like that. But I just, I never know if it would have if it would have an audience, like enough of
It,
an
wa-
audience.
I think it would. I think if you made it a micro cinema,
Hmm.
hell yeah, it would, because people still crave things that are different.
Yeah.
I mean, like in not Seattle, in Kansas City, I was part of this thing called Stray Cat. It opened after I left, but they're getting written up as the movie theater that's showing movies that the other theaters would never dare to show.
Hmm. Is it just like older stuff or new stuff that's coming out that doesn't fit?
Newer stuff that is just extremely independent as well.
Hmm.
But I mean, this came out of a group that would show um, every Thursday. They would have a screening at a different location, and they would show, like, that's where I saw Liquid Sky with people for the first time, was through these people. And I, I think it's a 2-screen truly independent theater would work.
Yeah.
I mean, you're by Columbus, which means the college kids would come there.
Yeah, we got a couple local colleges here that are pretty big. Um, got like Akron, Kent, Mount Union.
Yeah,
So I mean, yeah, maybe it could, but I don't know.
it will also cost you a shitload of money.
Yeah, yeah. I think a lot of the theater aspect of it is still like set up, but it's just like blocked off. You can't go back to it. They just kind of use the front part of the store as like what used to be the concessions, and they just have always made that the store area. So I mean, it could be cool, but I'll have to like win the lottery, or we got to start getting like 100,000 viewers.
Yeah, yeah. In fact, the road to 500 subscribers is still on. I will sing the Shimmy Shake Forever from Champagne and Bullets live on an episode.
I want to see it. We got to get there.
We got to get there. We got to get there. Before we get there, next week we'll be talking about the scary of 61st.
Yes, I'm excited for that. And as much as I love these older movies, I have been into jumping these newer movies. And another thing you missed like was me and Oliver were talking about the VSPs and Scary of 61st and Censor, and we're kind of hoping that they, as much as we liked New York Ninja, kind of hoping that they kind of focus on kind of newer stuff that might not see otherwise.
I can't figure out what the next VSP would be.
Hmm.
It just, yeah, I can't figure it out. It just befuddles me because everything from VSP still has to be shot on film. And then what's the difference between that and Utopia? I guess a lot of Utopia stuff is shot on video or high def.
Mm.
So who knows when we might see the next VSP release?
Yeah,
But
could be. Maybe they'll get something big, but maybe not.
I don't know. I don't know. It's weird. It's just, I wish VSP was just still part of the regular Vinegar Syndrome. I think there's too many sub labels, too many
Yeah,
partner, too many
yeah. I don't
things
know
that
what
take.
the difference between any of them is. I don't know VSA. I don't know how that's different from regular Vinegar Syndrome.
I think I can tell you that one. It's it's movies they only have a license to for a short period of time.
Okay. Okay. All
That's
right.
why they like,
Like a
yeah.
Disney kind of setup where they're just pulling them out of the archives for a limited time.
No, like, all right, it's like Action USA. They had their release of 5,000 copies of it, and then MVD announced theirs like
Mhm.
6 months after out of print.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
Eventually, we'll. I mean, I think another label is going to do martial law.
Yeah, yeah, that could be. And they have probably explained it before, and I just didn't see it. But
Yeah, to be honest, when they first announced VSA, I couldn't figure out. Oh, this is our tribute to the bygone area of video stores. I'm like, isn't everything a tribute
yeah,
to the bygone area of video stores?
yeah, exactly.
But at least they were able to market it with the different cases and the posters that came with the movies.
Hmm. And it is kind of nice that some of them are, not horror themed.
Yeah, yeah, but they've been down this road before. When they had exquisite pictures, which was, and then they had their other like the sex line with where they released a lot of the Joe Sarno stuff,
Hmm.
or it was a sexploitation series. But I don't know. I just think one line is enough. If you don't want to include stuff on a subscription plan, don't include it. But you don't need to make so many different sub labels.
Right. Do you think that's going to contribute to, Vinegar Syndrome is still a relatively small company, I would think. Do you think, I don't want to use the term like biting off more than they can chew, but do you think branching out so much like this is going to take away from the quality of what they're doing?
I don't think so because they don't have any control over what the partner labels put out.
Oh, no, I just mean with themselves. With, VS, VSA, VSP.
Yeah, I mean, for them, it's just printing money.
Yeah.
Vinegar Syndrome can announce the world. They could, all right. Vinegar Syndrome could announce, "Hey, VSP, we are putting out the Paris Hilton Classic, the Hottie and the Naughty," and
Sold.
it will sell. People will question them, but it will sell because it will have the slip cover.
Right. Yeah.
And right now, Vinegar Syndrome is the hot boutique label of the moment. But I think everything flames out at some point.
Right. Yeah.
So we will see. We will see how this flame if this does or doesn't flame out for them.
Hmm.
But on the flip side, like with all the partner labels, they're just making it's just profit for them. They
Right.
give they give these labels a place to actually get customers. Like how many people would have bought Luz from Altered Innocence if it didn't come out through Vinegar Syndrome or the Halstead collection
Hmm. Or
or
assholes. It's got my assholes.
you know because one of the stars of the Scary 61st isn't assholes. I
Hmm.
might eventually purchase that one, though I don't know if I will.
Yeah, you'll have to, if you do and you watch it, you have to let me know what you think because, I mean, I was like kind of into it. I thought it was really good actually.
It just seems like everyone in that movie is a complete and utter jerk, and I know a lot of people who are complete and utter jerks, and I don't want to watch a movie about them.
Well, I think it'll surprise you.
You know, I might watch it. I might watch it after I watch The Scary of 61st once again, so we can talk about it properly next week.
Yes, I'm excited for that one.
I am too. I am too. It's just a. It's just a. It's. I can't wait to talk about it. But hopefully we will all be back together next week, all three of us.
Yep, hopefully.
Cool. I
Yeah.
guess that does it for this week.
Yeah.
Actually, any recommendations of any other movies that you have watched?
Oh, let me just look real quick to see what I watched this week. Um, I will say I think it was already recommended, but I did finally get around to watching the 4K Scream last night, and if you haven't seen that one in a while, definitely revisit it because A, it looks incredible, and B, it just seems so much more enjoyable. This time around as an adult, I probably haven't seen it since I was a teenager at the most. I think it came out in '96, so
96.
yeah, that would have been 13. So it's been a while. Um, Besides that, I don't think I watched anything. I had a busy work week and didn't really do anything. What about you? I know you had watched a couple.
I watched from Severin, The Boys Next Door,
Mm-hmm.
which is a very brutal movie starring Maxwell Caulfield and Charlie Sheen. And holy fuck, that movie was just brutal. In fact, I would recommend it's a double feature with Curfew. And what else did I watch? I can't remember because I've been on painkillers pretty much the entire week. But I have to watch some again. I have to watch Babyface 2 for the discussion that's coming out on Wednesday.
Yeah.
It's always weird watching porn in an apartment because of the low volume that you want to play it at.
Yeah. So when we had discussed we were going to watch Sex World and then talk about it, my like TV is in the living room and it's like a big 65-inch, and the front window of the house just looks right onto that TV. So I like kept going outside because I watched it at night, so it was going to be super obvious outside. But I had to keep on like I looked outside. It was like, can you see anything through the blind?
Oh, I can't wait to actually record that episode because I have some good notes on that one.
Yeah.
All right, man. Well,
Yeah.
as always, it's been a blast.
Yeah.
We will see you next week. We will see you Wednesday for a pre-taped episode of Grindhouse Chic, guest starring Casey Scott. And then next week, Secret of 61st. And then who knows what after that.
Yeah. More to follow.
More to follow. All right, everyone. As always, have a good week, and we will see you next time.
Yeah. See you guys.